Your current circumstances have absolutely no power over you. And over the past few years, I've proven this to myself countless times. But in this video, I want to explain to you and help you to see that where you are right now in your life is not the end, that you can absolutely change your life within the next few months, within the next few weeks, if you really commit yourself to what I'm going to tell you in this video, right? You have to see the 3D world as a shadow. And it's only shadowing your internal state. It's only shadowing your internal world. You're thinking thoughts, you're picturing things, and then you're feeling things. So really your internal world is made up of thoughts and feelings. These two things make up your perception, right? And I can prove this to you because every time you're in a good mood, you find it easy to see the good in the world, right? You feel, you've got a spring in your step, you're walking around thinking good, expecting good things. But when you're in a bad mood, it's not the same. You're completely different, right? You're expecting bad things to happen. You're fearful, you're doubting, certain things. And it's all based on your internal world. Your brain is out picturing your reality right now as we speak. And you can't out picture anything that you haven't accepted within. You can't see wealth externally in your world. You can't see good relationships in your world. You can't see yourself with your dream body externally in your reality until you've accepted these things as true internally, because your brain is always trying to prove you right. So if internally you feel like debt, you feel like bad health, you feel like you've got shitty relationships, these are the things that your brain is always going to be proving to you as true. So you're always going to find yourself in the situations that prove that to you. So if you're finding yourself with debt externally, it's because your brain is just trying to prove how you feel internally right. And it's always going to do this. It's always going to make sure that that state is reaffirmed. What you feel and what you think of yourself is fact, it's law, right? Your brain takes you at your word and then goes about finding ways, creating circumstances to confirm that, because that's all you're really doing. You're projecting your reality from inside you out. And until you learn this and until you actually accept that that's how it is, you have no power, because you're probably in the same reactionary cycle. You see something in reality, and because you don't understand that reality is just coming from you, all you can do with that information is react to it. You can only react to the information that you're getting from your reality. You're going to scurry to try and solve problems that are showing up, when really and truly, you will never solve those problems, because the state within that created that problem can't be solved by the same state. So who you are right now is the version of you, the internal state that created the problem that you've got. So you trying to solve that problem in the 3D world is basically like going to the mirror, frowning in the mirror, like you've got a sad face, and then you're trying to fix the mirror. You're trying to fix your face on the mirror. So you're looking at your reality right now as something that's fixed, something that you can't change without acting externally. But if you act internally, if you move internally, then you will move externally automatically. And every single time you react to your 3D world, I call this the cycle of doom, because this is what 95% of people are stuck in. They're stuck in a reactionary mode, when how they really should be viewing reality, and the version of reality that's going to give you all of your power, is seeing yourself as the starting point. Then your reality comes from that, right? And when I say yourself, I'm talking about your self-image, your internal feelings, your thoughts, everything that goes on within you internally then creates reality, right? And after that reality is created, you then inhabit it. You can then enjoy it pretty much. But until you understand that these things are all coming from you, you're not going to be able to enjoy it. You're not going to be able to see things in the right way. And the crazy thing is, once you do start to see reality in this way, and once you do start to realize that it's all coming from you, you gain your power back. So you learn to not take reality so seriously. Something can happen in your world. I have things happen to me all the time that aren't ideal, but the thing is, they are ideal because they were created by me. And if I know that within me, I'm thinking about the right stuff and I'm feeling a certain type of way, these things are not bad things. To my human mind, to my human perception, I can't see the future. So of course I might start to think, this isn't really a good circumstance, but it is a good circumstance. It's actually leading you to the things that you're imagining, right? Destiny, in essence, right? Destiny, destination, that's all that really means. Where you're going, where you're going to end up. So you can change your destiny at any given moment. You can change your current circumstances right now. How much that destination or destiny changes is based on how much your internal state changes. What most people really focus on is, how do I get the things I want? How do I start that business and scale that business? How do I get this person into my life and get this relationship? How? They're asking how because they are not the person who has it naturally. They have not yet accepted that they can be the person, or that they are the person who can have all of those things naturally. If you're still asking how, it's because you're not who. Because who knows exactly how to do the thing. So to become the person, you have to shift your internal state, right? And the way you actually shift your internal state is simple, but it requires consistency, right? Your internal state, as I said earlier, is your internal world. But that internal world is the only world you really have to focus on shifting if you want to shift your external. Staying in a state, that would imply that you already have what you want. And that's easier said than done, right? I struggled with this for a while. I was, starting off with trading back in 2019 and, the gym and all that kind of stuff around about the same time, right? Just before COVID. And I came across all this information around 2020, and I started to slowly apply it and start to see that it was making, helping me make progress without me needing to really, put in a lot of groundwork outside. Because here's the thing, if you're working extra hard externally, you're spinning your wheels, because your external action is coming from your internal feelings. If you don't feel like doing something, you're not going to do it. So really and truly, everything that you're doing externally is limited to how you feel internally. Right now, if you think about going to the shop, you're not going to get up physically and go to the shop and do that unless you feel like doing it. And that applies to everything. You're not going to get up and go to the gym unless you feel like going to the gym. And the reason you don't feel like doing the things that you know you should be doing is because you're not yet the person who can do them naturally. Second nature. And that's what we have to work on. So you right now are picturing things about your world. If you don't have a lot of money and you're desiring to have a lot of money, the reason you don't have a lot of money is because you've accepted that you don't have a lot of money. So you're embodying the fact that you don't have a lot of money. So all of your external action is limited to someone who doesn't have a lot of money. I want you to really understand that, because I was stuck in that loop for so long. When I was trying to learn how to be a trader and actually risk money and be comfortable with it, in my head, I was a broke student, right? So I was not thinking like a trader. A trader needs to be comfortable risking money. And I was thinking, I don't have it like that. So every time I lost money on a trade, which is completely natural, I would go into this negative loop of thinking I'm a failure, I need to get this money back. And then what would end up happening is I would lose more money. And the reason for this is because my internal state was that of someone who doesn't have money. So your internal state right now is exactly what's being reflected out to you. So what you have to focus on from now is you want to be picturing and feeling the exact same things that you would be picturing and feeling if you were the version of yourself who had what you want. So a quick example, let's say you wanted to have $100,000 in your bank at all points of the year, right? And a bunch of investments and a bunch of good things going for you. You have to start envisioning a version of you who has that. And you have to get into the feeling of being that person. And the way you do this effectively is in meditation. Because when you meditate, you're dissolving your ego, right? This is how I like to look at meditation. People look at meditation as, just breath work and, all of these things. But the way I look at it, you're dissolving your attachment, your emotional attachment to the life you have right now. Because that emotional attachment is essentially the wire, the cord that keeps you firmly planted exactly where you are. So to dissolve that and to tap into a new reality where you have the things you want internally, you have to disconnect from what you've got. So when you're meditating and you close your eyes and you get into the present moment, the moment where everything happens, there is no future, there is no past, you're extremely present, right? You need to start envisioning the version of you who has £100,000 in the bank, who has a bunch of great things going on in their life, a great relationship, can travel, can do all of these things. And what that's going to do for you is it's going to create a feeling state within you. That feeling state is then going to give you unlimited motivation. And it's not really motivation, It's actually a shift in your internal world, which isn't motivation. It's actually you being someone completely different, right? You probably think right now that who you're being is who you are when you're opening your eyes. But this 3D world is not you. This body is not you. Your body is not you. You are who you are when you close your eyes. What things are you thinking that you're attaching yourself to? It's not so much what thoughts are coming in, because you can't stop the stream of thoughts that come into your brain, right? You can only pick and choose which of them you're going to feel, right? Because those are the ones that you're going to embody, right? Embody simply means take into your body, right? You've got an unlimited stream of thoughts coming in at any given moment in the day, right? You're picking and choosing which of those thoughts you're going to emotionally attach to your body, which is then going to become your frequency, which you're then going to act out. That's as simple as I can put it. So right now, if you're not acting in a way that you would if you had £100,000, that's why you don't have £100,000. And the reason you're not acting in the way is because you don't have the required frequency to act in that way. So that's why I'm giving you the exercise of envisioning, right? Imagine it, visualization, whatever you want to call it. 10 minutes, that's all it takes. And this will start to shift your world in ways that won't even feel real, right? Things will start to happen, and you have to understand that these things are a result of your work, because internal work is still work. People think that work is just graft, hard work outside, blood, sweat, tears. It's not, because there's two sides to you. There's the mental side of you, which controls the physical side of you. So a smarter way to actually go about your life is to put a lot of your focus on this side, the mental side, because that's dictating everything you do physically, right? And you already know this. I'm just explaining how it works, right? So your internal world right now is reflected on your external. There's a delay. So when you do start doing this work and you do start shifting your internal state, things aren't going to shift instantly, right? They're not going to shift the minute you come out of your meditation. So you can't expect them to. You have to just maintain the state. And you don't maintain the state because you're looking to get a result. How much more pleasant is life when your internal state is good? It's way better, because everything you then see externally is going to reflect that. Do you know what I mean? You're going to see it. Even if things aren't changing right away, you're going to be looking at it with a set of new eyes, because that's all you can do. Because everything you see externally, you're only perceiving it based off your internal world. Your mood, your feeling, your thoughts, your self-image, all of this stuff is dictating how you view your outside world, right? There's a bunch of opportunities around you right now, but you can't see them because you're not in the internal state to see them. You're in the internal state of survival. And when you're in survival, emotions like fear, guilt, shame, apathy, they're very low in frequency. And I know it sounds woo-woo, but this is genuinely how it works. You can't act in an empowered way and go after what you want with full ferocity, right? If you're feeling guilt or if you're feeling fear, it just doesn't work, right? You have to first work on settling your nervous system and getting into a state where you feel as though what you want is possible. This is hope. You're climbing the ladder until you get to, what's the highest one? I think it's enlightenment, right? And this is where you just genuinely believe that you can have whatever you want. You can have anything, right? And it's true, you can have anything, but you have to believe that. You can't have the things that you want until you believe you can have them, because that's what controls your actions. And I really want you to get this, because there was a period of my life, I think 2 years, where I just didn't think that I could become a trader. I just didn't think that it was really possible. And because of my internal state, whenever I saw a trader who was doing well, I thought, he must be faking it. It's not possible. And the reason why I saw it in that way is because of my internal state. My internal world was not where it needed to be to make me the trader. And because of that, I didn't think anyone could be a trader, right? You know, if you're in a state right now where you don't have a lot of money, you can know where your internal state is just by, observing the things that you think when you think about money. What thoughts are coming into your head when you think about wealth? Is it, oh no, people with money, they're all bad, they're all doing bad things, they're all in the Illuminati, right? They're all doing some weird shit to get money. If those are your thoughts, how on earth do you think you're going to want to get money, if that makes sense? Like, if you think money is this bad thing, you're not going to want to get it. So those exercises that I gave you for visualization are the start. That's actually going to shift your state massively. As long as you feel. Feeling is the secret. You don't just think thoughts, right? You don't daydream. Daydreaming would be, thinking of the life you want, thinking of, having a nice car one day, right? One day doesn't exist. There's only the present moment. As long as you keep saying one day, one day, one day, it's always going to be one day, because you're feeling that it's always going to be one day. So your feelings are going to push it away from you, create a barrier, a distance, right? But there is no distance. Everything's one. There's infinite possibilities for you right now, like right now. There's a version of you who's homeless. Genuinely. If you made a few different decisions, back when, you could be homeless right now. There's a version of you right now who could be a millionaire, a multi-millionaire with the best family, best everything. If you made a few different decisions and had a different internal state a year ago, you could be that version right now. Genuinely. And it all comes from your internal state. So in a year, where do you want to be? In 6 months, where do you want to be? It can happen very quickly. It's all just dependent on how much you shift your internal state, how much you connect with the version. I'm telling you to do it, day and night, the visualization, the meditation, but you can do it throughout the day. Set alarms, be extreme. Don't just do the bare minimum, right? That's just the baseline, right? Well, at one point, bro, I was doing visualizations every hour. I set an alarm for every single hour of the day, and I just took 5 minutes to close my eyes, lay down on the floor even, and just visually connect with the version of me and feel that version of me to be real right now, because the present moment is all there is. I'm not feeling as though I'm gonna be this person, because if you're feeling that one day you're gonna have the nice cars and the nice family, you're always gonna push it to further or future action, right? You don't want to do that. You want to connect with that version right now in your visualization, so that when you come out of it, you're connected to that version. You're in the state of consciousness of that person. You're essentially in the thought streams, right? You're taking in the thoughts that version of you would be taking in and paying attention to, because you've connected to the feeling of that person, right? That's genuinely how you shift your reality really, really, really quickly.